In this video, we are going to be covering everything you need to know about our upcoming NFT, the Parallax Gensesis. We're going to be covering what it is, what are the benefits for holding it and utility, the long-term vision, as well as how you can get a whitelist. Now, starting things off, if you haven't seen it already, we actually launched a teaser of the Parallax Gensesis and showcasing the art. So let's go ahead and play it for you real quick. All right, did you guys like that? Because if you did, let me know in the comments what you think about the art. Now, real quick, I know a lot of you probably have the question of, when's the mint? How much is the price and things like that. So I'll just go ahead and say this. The supply is going to be 777. It's going to be a very limited collection of 777. A majority of the members in that are going to be handpicked through a whitelist interview system. The mint date, although not set in stone, I'm shooting for sometime of the end of June, and the mint price is to be determined. So exactly what is the Parallax and how does the Parallax NFT come into play? And why did I even start an NFT project? Now, the way I personally look at it is that the Parallax is going to be a media company specifically focused on NFTs and Web3. My goal is really to become something like a Forbes, a Business Insider, or maybe an hypebeast.com of NFTs, right? And personally for me, there isn't quite a good place to find the best content. People ask me all the time, Patrick, where do you find all this content for your YouTube? Same place as everybody else, Twitter, right? I literally have to scroll through Twitter and find the best interesting stories. So what I'm really trying to do with the Parallax is give you the highest quality content, amazing production, amazing analysis, all while being honest and not doing weird things like pumping and dumping, for example, right? And a lot of people ask me also, Patrick, why did you even call this the Parallax? What does that even mean? The Parallax is essentially a astronomy term where, it's just showing you different perspective, right? Like if you're on this planet looking at something, it's going to be at one perspective. If you're on a whole nother planet and you're looking at something like the sun or the moon, it's going to be at a whole different perspective, right? And so that's what a parallax effect is. Most people think of NFTs like a scam, a Ponzi scheme, and the majority of the world doesn't know what it is. They don't even know what an NFT is, or they never even downloaded MetaMask, right? And my whole goal with the Parallax is to really change people's perception of what an NFT is so that we can move forward as a space and grow together, right? It's kind of embedded in the company's name, and that's essentially the mission, right? And so moving forward in the future, my plans are to continue doing YouTube, hopefully become one of the biggest players in the YouTube space when it comes to Web3 and NFT news and analysis and education. Then I want to expand to website, newsletter, different platforms like TikTok, for example, because a lot of people want to see NFT content on TikTok and it's not that good right now, right? From my perspective, there's just not a lot of good creators or good companies creating high quality, interesting educational content that really have a pulse on the market. I feel like it's a really big opportunity for the Parallax to really fill in that gap. But I think the elephant in the room is people are wondering, why does the NFT look like an anime PFP? Now, I want to make it absolutely clear that the Parallax is not necessarily trying to do an IP play. We're not trying to be a Zuki. We're not trying to buy land in the metaverse, okay? We are a media company creating educational and inspirational content for NFTs and Web3. Now, the reason for why I decided to go with an anime PFP is for a number of things. When I was thinking about creating an NFT, I didn't really want to do the same thing everybody else was doing. And the reason for why I personally chose to do a PFP is because when you're doing, let's say, like a 3D spinning card, for example, it's cool. You might provide a lot of utility and benefits, which is great, but then it's difficult for people to represent your brand. Nobody's going to change their picture profile to a 3D spinning card, right? But they'll gladly change it to a really good looking anime PFP. In a sense, it's kind of like marketing. It's like two things. Number one is like you create something that people will actually be proud to represent. Number two is that when people use it as their PFP, they're also representing the brand for you. So when people use it, they'll be like, oh, what is that PFP? Oh, that's a Parallax NFT. What's that all about? And then people become more interested in the art, they become interested in the movement, and then they learn more about what the Parallax is. And then once they realize that, oh, well, it's actually a media company and not really an anime project, that's very interesting, right? When it came to anime, I knew I didn't want to do something that kind of looked cheap. Like there's a lot of anime projects out there that really just kind of look like they copy Azuki in terms of like line style and traits and like everything. And it's like probably pushing too far in taking inspiration. And then the quality usually doesn't end up that well, and then the project dies, right? For me, I wanted to create a PFP that I would be proud to rock. When it comes to art alone, it can stand with, some of the bigger players, right? So for me, I'm actually the creative director or art director, whatever you want to call it, for this project. So every trait, every color, how things look, the feeling of it, how the eyes look and everything, I'm literally picking through every single one. And we are working with an artist from Japan, like an authentic Japanese anime manga artist, to actually make this vision come to life. And so if you enjoyed the teaser and the art so far, that's kind of what we've been working on. The question I had before was, if I did an anime PFP, would that alienate people from my brand, right? Would they not want to maybe purchase the NFT because it is anime? And then I actually asked my community just to see if people would be interested in the anime PFP. And overwhelmingly, I would say more than 90% of the people I asked want an anime PFP if the Parallax was going to do one. So I was like, okay, I love anime. I'm a big fan. My audience is a really big fan. I talk about anime NFT projects all the time on my channel. Everything just kind of connects. And so that's why I went in that direction. And I also think that when you do an anime PFP, it opens up different collaborations opportunities in the future with certain type of brands, but we can get on that later. And the final thing is, like, when you do an anime PFP or any kind of PFP that a certain level of quality, it's very difficult to copy. I always think, like, for projects, if there were 100 copycats that try to copy you, would you be able to survive with this kind of positioning, with me being a media company and me being an influencer and also me doing anime PFP? It's like, I'm just doing something so different that it would be very difficult for anyone to copy. Even if they tried, they probably wouldn't even think it's worth it, right? By doing all those things, I'm building a moat around my brand, because my vision is to be something that can last for a long time, not something that's, just the flavor of the month. So now that you understand what the Parallax is, what the vision is to be a media company, and you understand why I chose to do an anime PFP, let's talk about the benefits of holding our NFT. I am trying to build a media company that's going to be the voice of NFTs, that is going to onboard hundreds of thousands or even potentially millions of people into NFTs, right? And if you kind of notice the quality on the Parallax, where we drop in like so many videos every single week from the very beginning, I actually been self-funding many full-time employees to make all of this happen, right? Because I really do believe in it. By selling an NFT, we are able to raise funds to hire more people and continue to expand our operations, where it doesn't have to just be me self-funding it for a long time. It can actually be our holders who are directly supporting it because they believe in the movement, right? And of course, if you do hold the NFT, we want to offer you some benefits, right? Now, the first benefit that really comes to mind is going to be community. And I know a lot of people talk about community, but what does it really mean, and why is the Parallax different, right? Which is the question everyone asks. Now, if you think about most NFT projects that came up with a lot of hype, what typically happens is that they create a project, they get some good art, and then they just run a bunch of whitelist giveaways. Everybody wants to buy it and it gets really hype, the price goes up, and then the price falls really quickly. And the reason is because when you build an audience so quickly, so fast, and the only people that want to buy it are the people that want to flip it for a profit, then you really can't expect people to hold on it for a long time, because they only heard of you like 1 week ago, they want a whitelist, and then they bought it, right? And so that's why the community isn't very strong. And there's nothing wrong about that, but that's just what it is. Where the Parallax is different is that I actually started the Parallax YouTube channel in December of 2021, and then I started the Discord channel on February 2022. So for the last 5 months, I'm so involved in the community, especially in the beginning, right? I remember when I first started the Discord, there was like 50 people in there. I was in there every day. So far, since I started this Discord, I actually have 10,800 messages. That's how much I care about this community, and that's how much I try to set the culture of what it should be by creating content that attracts the right people who are not just looking for quick flips and pump and dumps, people that actually want to think of NFTs as almost like an asset class. People want to think more thoughtfully about projects and have conversations. That's what I'm doing in there pretty much every single day, and other people kind of appreciate that, and they also want to do the same. And so if you ever been in the Parallax Discord, you would find that most people are pretty genuine, pretty honest, they're pretty kind and opening, whether you're a super whale or whether you're a total beginner, right? That's just the culture that we built, and I think that's very hard to replicate, because I literally built that community, one video at a time, and then one conversation at a time. We actually did our first in real life meetup in Singapore a couple weeks ago, and about 30 people came to this meetup, and which is actually pretty cool, because at the time we didn't even like launch an NFT. There was like no teasers out, right? And people just wanted to be there because they wanted to be there. And I can say everyone was kind, everyone was polite. We have a lot of smart people in there, and I really did enjoy the community, and like I would consider them friends at this point, right? This isn't just me trying to sell a product. This is me building a community of people that I personally would want to hang out. So next time I go to Singapore, you bet I'm going to hang out with these people. And when I go to, Los Angeles, NFT NYC, wherever, I want to do like Parallax events for sure. Now, on top of that, to actually earn a whitelist for the Parallax NFT, what we actually do is that we just say, hey, you just got to be active in the community, share alpha, be a kind person, help people out, be creative, things like that. And then what happens is that people are just in it because they want to be in it. And then I or some of the moderators on my team will, check your chats to see if you're actually contributing or if you're just spamming GM. And then if you're actually somebody that tries to contribute and tries to be a part of the community, we give you a pioneer role. And that doesn't mean whitelist. And then from a pioneer role, I or someone on my team will directly message you, and then we would do interviews with you to ask you about who you are, why do you want to be part of the Parallax community, and what you think you can contribute in the Parallax community, right? Just to make sure you're the right fit and this is actually something that you want to be a part of. And that's pretty much our whitelist process. So there's a lot of hurdles where a flipper cannot just do it, right? Because they don't have the patience and they don't want to be part of that community if it's too much work. You can't get whitelist grinders in there, because when it comes to the interview, if they're not answering good questions on the interview, then they're not going to get a whitelist, right? And so because I built this community for 5 months now, and then I put so many filters to make sure that each member wants to be a part of the community. And then we do an interview to make sure they're a good fit for our community on both sides, right? Personally, I feel the quality of community is very strong. So now that you understand the community, what it takes to actually get a whitelist, and who's actually in there, let's talk about some of the benefits that you get immediately once you actually do have the NFT, right? So the first thing is that obviously there's going to be alpha, which is very important for our community, where you have to understand what's going on in the space, what to buy, what not to buy, what to sell. And honestly, the main benefit is that you have a bunch of people who are pretty smart in the NFT space helping each other out. It's not me just feeding you what to buy, when to sell, and things like that. That's not the kind of place this is. This is a place for you to think and learn so that you'll be able to do it yourself. And this is a place for you to connect with other people and share ideas. And so when I say alpha, that's really what it is. It's not about feeding you things, because things go up and down. Nobody's gonna get it right 100% of the time, but we're gonna try our best to show you how to think and educate you, right? And so for me, education is really important. That's actually my background before NFTs. Every week I actually do a live AMA where I talk about the markets, what's going on with the Parallax NFT, to make sure I'm communicating with you guys. In the future, I'm also gonna plan to bring, different project founders and specialists within the NFT space to come in, do an interview, or talk with you guys so that we can all, learn from each other, right? And that's something I'm definitely gonna make a big effort in after we mint. Of course, like I said before, we're gonna have in real life events. So every major event, let's say at NFT NYC, for example, I want to do a Parallax event there. And of course, it's going to be Parallax funded. Let's say, there isn't maybe a major NFT event in your local area. We can possibly fund your event in your local area if you want to put it together, right? And of course, as we build the media company, as we get more credibility, there's going to be more people, whether it's Web2 brands or Web3 brands, that are going to want to collaborate with the Parallax if they see that it's one of the most potentially influential media companies in the space. And with those collaborations, of course, our Gensesis holders are going to get benefits to that, whether it's going to be special access to certain things, special discounts on NFT tools, whitelist opportunities when people want to work with us in some capacity. From a high level perspective, as a media company, as we grow and people want to work with us, whatever benefits that the company receives, what I would like to do is pass those rewards to our holders as well, so that you're not only just helping us grow as a company, but you're also reaping some of the rewards that we get as a company because you were the early supporters, right? And that's essentially the whole idea. I'm aiming to be a media company. There's so many different ways you can monetize, right? Like if you look at a Forbes, a Business Insider, Hypebeast, or even like Complex, for example, they're doing like hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, whether it's from advertising, creating product, doing events. So there's many different ways a media company can monetize. I don't have to think about like, all I have to do is keep launching NFT after NFT to launch the next NFT. It's like, no, we just need to launch NFTs to raise money in the beginning, hire more people, build more media, and then we will find revenue streams, right? And what exactly those revenue streams look like, we don't know exactly quite yet because this space is really new. But I would say the most important thing is that whoever has the attention in the NFT space actually has the most opportunity to make revenue, right? Because if people know who you are and they trust you, basically anywhere you point that direction, that's going to be a way for the company to make revenue, just like literally any media company, right? And of course, as we continue to grow as a media company, which is our main priority, one of the benefits of that is that we can start helping different project founders who actually have good intentions and not trying to cash grab. We can help different artists, musicians, whatever it is, also get more exposure as well. And again, it's all about intention, right? Working with the right people who plan to be here for a long time, not people who are just trying to cash grab. But I just want to make it clear that my intentions in this space is to make it better, to inspire others. And that's really what I'm trying to do here, right? I know that everything may not go according to plan. Some things may fail, some things may work. Whatever problems do arise, my goal is to really put the time and energy into it to solve those problems and continue to move forward as a company, right? So with that said, that is pretty much everything we have to cover in this video. I appreciate you watching this far, and I will see you guys in the next one.